the dude that was messing with him bit off more than he can chew. And, you got to be careful, one, who you mess with, and two, what kind of example are you as a veteran for inciting a ride with a kid? And he's not 12 or nothing, but he's still significantly younger.
End of discussion. You are a dumb animal that does not belong in society. You have forfeited that right because you have proven yourself as an unevolved human. Go sit in a cage for 30 to 40 years where you f***ing belong, you dumb animal. End of discussion.
It's not going to go the way you want it to go, and he should have handled it a different way. I hope that him and his family are able to cope and be able to find a solution for everything. And obviously Syko Stu is a little bit better because everybody's kind of worried. But, it's unfortunate that it happened, and hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Ooh, yeah, no, those are full on, like, I'm beating those were brutal. Yeah, oh. I did see the guy hit him over the head with the can, but if the guy thought that was part of I don't know, you can't hurt people like that.
Syko Stu finally speaks from the hospital after Raja Jackson's assault. A post was shared by one of Syko Stu's close family members on his behalf, providing an update on his condition. The message expressed gratitude for the support he has received, confirming that Stewart is conscious and has some recollection of the events from the day of the attack. Good morning. Thank you for the outpouring of support. Stewart is conscious and does have some recollection of events from the day of the attack. Thank you everyone for reaching out. It's been difficult to get back to everyone individually. We will be setting up something for anyone wishing to donate. I will update with a link when possible. He's currently resting and says, thank you for the love and support. Meanwhile, Mark Henry shocks fans by defending Raja Jackson in part and placing some blame on Syko Stu. He admits he never liked aggressive ribbing or constant joking, explaining that if someone pushed those boundaries with him, they always got that work. While acknowledging he doesn't know the full story, Henry believes Syko Stu handled the situation poorly and ended up biting off more than he could chew. He warns that people need to be careful about who they provoke and questions what kind of example a veteran sets by pushing around someone much younger.
I didn't like the ribbing. I didn't like the joking. And anybody that talked to me that I didn't think was worthy of having that kind of aggressive conversation, they got that work. And, I don't know the full story, but I do know what I saw. And it looked like he wasn't smart to what was going on. And the dude that was messing with him bit off more than he can chew. And, you got to be careful, one, who you mess with, and two, what kind of example are you as a veteran for inciting a ride with a kid? And he's not 12 or nothing, but he's still significantly younger. And, you want to make sure that everybody...
Tony Ferguson also reacts to the Raja Jackson incident and says he is shocked by Raja Jackson's attack and believes it could have been prevented. He criticizes influencers and media for hyping situations that mislead young people. Ferguson urges kids to seek help or find proper outlets instead of resorting to violence. He hopes Raja and his family can cope and finds relief that Syko Stu is improving, stressing that such incidents shouldn't happen again.
My reaction was just like everybody else's, is kind of shocked at that, but I think that it could have been prevented. I think assholes like people, influencers, YouTubers, or everything else that put too much hype and they try to build some shit up and they put these ideas in kids' heads and they're not fucking saying, hey, reach out and, and be like, it's okay. They're making it worse by trying to do the same shit by sticking mics in their face and doing this kind of stuff where as some people know how to handle situations and some people don't. And unfortunately, it went a different way. And all you youngsters out there, that's not the right way to do it. That's just not how you do it. If you do have an issue with something like that, go talk to somebody. I know it's kind of seems like the pussy thing to do, but damn, go find a way to vent, because that stuff is just like a boiling pot. It's not gonna go the way you want it to go. And he should have handled it a different way. I hope that him and his family are able to cope and be able to find a solution for everything. And obviously Syko Stu is a little bit better because everybody's kind of worried. But, you know, it's unfortunate that it happened, and hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Josh Thompson also talked about this incident and believes that the real sympathy should be for Quentin Jackson, not Raja. He explains that Quentin is an innocent father caught up in the situation, loving his son but forced to watch him make terrible choices. Thompson calls it sad to see a parent go through something so serious, especially knowing it's the last thing he would have wanted for his child.
But the problem is this. You're looking at it and people are, they're trying to give some type of, you know, forgiveness because it's Quentin, not because it's Raja, because it's Quentin. It's Quentin Jackson that is the person that you've got to feel sorry for, okay? In the fact that, you know, he's hooked up in this when he's not the one that took part in this. And that's a sad thing because he's a father and he loves his son. And it's sad to see someone go through something of this magnitude when it's the last thing in the world you would have told your son to go through with.
Big John McCarthy breaks down AJ Mana's role in this whole incident before the attack. He said that before the incident, wrestler AJ Mana was in the background, encouraging Raja Jackson. He was hyping Raja up and telling him to get revenge for what happened in the ring, essentially pushing him to act on the situation. McCarthy clarifies that in pro wrestling, a receipt usually means returning a single shot after a cheap hit, but he notes that the encouragement added fuel to Raja's actions that day.
There's the other wrestler. What's the other wrestler? AJ Mana. This guy is basically in the back telling him, hey, he smashed the can over your head. Go out there and get your receipts. Go out there and, you know, get him back. And then, so he's kind of getting Raja hyped up, kind of getting him to realize, yeah, you know what that means, right? Go out there and get it. You get yours. Now, I know that when we talk about, you know, get your receipts, you know, go out there and get yours, like isn't get it back. Get the shot back that he laid down.
One shot. That's what a receipt is. You got a cheap shot, I'll give you one back.
Doug Malawa also blames AJ Mana for pushing Raja Jackson. He said that the attack was driven by a mix of Raja Jackson's personal issues with his father and AJ Mana's influence. While Malawa criticizes Raja for his actions, he places even more blame on AJ for hyping him up and pushing him into the situation. He explains that AJ used Raja to do his dirty work, knowing Raja had problems with the victim, and stresses that it's no coincidence. Malawa adds that AJ never handled fights himself, often losing in small backyard scrambles, but pressured Raja, trained by one of the greatest fighters, to carry out the attack.
I think the culmination between his dad picking on him and all his daddy issues came out, and all the shit that AJ gassed up into his head, because let me put it this way, I don't like Raja. I think Raja's a shit person for what he did, but I think AJ's a bigger shit person for gassing him up to be in that fucking ring, to leading him to ruin his own fucking life, to hurt somebody that AJ also has a fucking problem with. You can't fucking tell me that's not, I don't believe in coincidence.
He was basically trying to put the blood on someone else's hands.
Exactly, because he's not going to do it himself. You know, the few little backyard fights he fucking got in where he got beat the fuck up, and then you got somebody that's a real fighter, trained by somebody that was one of the greatest of all time, and then you had him do your dirty work. He ruined two people's lives.
However, AJ Mana defends himself amid criticism over Raja Jackson incident. AJ Mana shares his side of the story, insisting that people are misinterpreting his words. He explains that he only told Raja to give a receipt and denies pushing him to take things further. Mana says his life is being ruined by false claims and emphasizes that he cannot be held responsible for the actions of another grown man.
Before y'all judge me any further, just please let me explain. Ready? That's a receipt. That's all the I told Raja to do. Now my life is ruined over your lie. I am not responsible for what another grown man decides to do.
On the other hand, Rampage Jackson calls out MMA Guru during his first live stream since the attack, accusing him of racism. He says Guru was supposed to be a journalist, but instead exposed his true colors, stressing that in 2025, nobody wants to hear racist remarks about someone's child. Rampage admits mistakes happen, but insists they should never be turned into a race issue.
It's a lot of like ignorant people on the internet. I understand that. You know, it is what it is. The shit don't affect me, don't bother me, but people like MMA Guru, you know what I'm saying, that guy is supposed to be some kind of journalist, and his racism came out. His racism shown. You know what I'm saying? It's 2025. Like, you know what I'm saying? People do this where some people do. They shouldn't get turned into a race. Nobody wants to hear a bunch of racist shit about their son, no matter what race they are. He must don't have kids himself.
Rampage Jackson feels MMA Guru went too far by letting racism slip into his commentary. He explains that having grown up around that kind of talk, he recognized it immediately. While he usually ignores racist messages online, he says it's different when someone with a platform like Guru uses that language. Rampage adds that anyone with an audience has a responsibility to stay professional, and now fans will likely question whether Guru's opinions on black fighters are influenced by bias.
I don't want to repeat what he said, but he said a whole bunch of. He said like he showed his racism basically for what he did. Like, I'm from the South. The stuff he said, only racist people say. A lot of racist people came forward and said stuff and DM me racist. It don't bother me because I don't care about racist people. But MMA Guru, he has a platform.
Yeah.
And he should stay neutral because he's giving his opinions on fights and stuff like that. So now people gonna be watching him when black fighters fight and he say,
Yikes.
you know what I'm saying?
MMA Guru also responds to Rampage Jackson and fires back at his criticism. He called Rampage out for going live just days after Raja Jackson's incident, arguably one of the most intense moments of Raja's life. He points out that while Raja could be facing serious legal trouble, Rampage is on a live stream reading messages, sharing opinions, and calling people out, creating a stark contrast between the gravity of the situation and his father's public response.
Just a few days after Raja Jackson had this situation, that's probably the most stressful time in his life, deserved, by the way, the deserved most stressful time of his life, where he's probably sitting at home right now, scared to death that he's going to get decades in prison. During that moment, right now, his father, Rampage Jackson, is dating on stream and bowling with them while reading dono messages about the entire situation and giving his thoughts on it and calling people out.
MMA Guru further explains that when he first saw it, the clip was already viral, and after he shared it on social media, it exploded with millions of views. Guru describes his reaction, calling Raja a dumb animal with no impulse control for continuing to strike an unconscious man. He stresses that such behavior is beyond normal human conduct and insists Raja deserves serious consequences for his actions.
I woke up that morning, I got sent a video of Raja Jackson attempting to murder someone, telling me, what do I think about this? Okay? So I go on Twitter, I'm like, what? It's viral everywhere. Raja Jackson did this. It's not yet. I think it had like 700,000 views when I first retweeted this. This now has 75,000 likes, 11 million views on my quote tweet of it alone. Okay? So it then took off to crazy lengths. I saw that video and people said, what's your thoughts on it? I don't then think, oh, I gotta watch and think about what Rampage would think about me saying this. Not for 1 second does that ever cross my mind. Guru, check out this video. What do you think? That's an attempted murderer. I post it, yeah. I say, that's a dumb animal with no impulse control, bro. He has no impulse control. He's a dumb animal. He saw an unconscious man on the ground and he went to follow up 20 odd shots to try and kill him. He's not like the rest of us. I would never do that. 99% of humans would never do that. Raja Jackson would. Put him in a jail, put him in a cage.
Meanwhile, Tim Welch also reacts to the incident, noting that even though Rampage Jackson's son may have strong legal support, the attack could still be considered attempted murder. He emphasizes the risks of street fights, pointing out that hitting someone who's already unconscious can be deadly and result in prison time. Welch describes the situation as alarming and says he'd be outraged if the victim were his own father. He also mentions that while Syko Stu has regained consciousness, the overall outlook remains serious.
Rampage's got money. I mean, they're going to have some good lawyers. But it might be attempted murder. I mean, God, that's the thing. You got to be careful getting in street fights. If you can avoid street fights, avoid them. Especially if you got a temper tantrum. Maybe if you know a little jiu-jitsu and you get in a street fight here and there, it's okay. You can take care of yourself, get in a good position. But once you crack somebody and then you start seeing red and you're not thinking about what you're doing and you're punching them and they're already knocked out, good chance you're going to kill them. And now you might be in the pen. So, I mean, that was fucked up. If that guy was my dad or something, I would be furious. So hopefully this guy comes out of it all right. They said he came to, and it's not looking good.
Syko Stu's friend Doug Malloy criticizes Raja Jackson, calling his mindset stupid. He recalls breaking up the fight in the ring when Raja suddenly went for a sloppy double leg and punched him in the eye, even though Malloy wasn't being aggressive. He calls Raja a young loser and a low-life clown for attacking a half-conscious man and hitting someone who was only trying to stop the fight, noting Raja was lucky he was already tired from an earlier match.
When we're in the ring and I'm breaking it up and he shoots a fucking double leg on me, by the way, work a better fucking double leg, you fucking prick. And then I'm telling you to fucking calm down. I'm not even fucking fighting. I'm not even being fucking hostile. Then you're trying to fucking work and get lower, do this, change positions, and I'm over here having to swim with you, all this other shit. And then you fucking punch me in the fucking eye after we're breaking it up, you fucking loser. That's why you got fucking headbutt, and that's why I fucking punch you, and you're fucking lucky I was tired from the match before this. What kind of fucking person are you? You fucking low-life fucking clown. You want fucking clout, so you beat up a guy that's fucking half unconscious. You punch a guy that's trying to break up a fight and not even trying to fight you. I wasn't even trying to fucking hurt you.
Doug Malloy says Raja Jackson would have killed Syko Stu if he hadn't intervened. He explains that Raja was determined to keep attacking and would have done the same to him if he'd managed to take him down. Malloy calls Raja a bully, criticizing him for using his father's reputation and training to harm others instead of getting help for his own issues.
So, do you think he wanted to continue beating up Stu?
I think he would have killed him.
If you didn't stop it, right?
I promise you he would have killed him. He would have killed me if he would have got the best of me. If he would have took my legs out from under me like he was trying to, he was going to do the same thing to me that he did to Stu. Clearly, you watch the stream when he's walking away. I'm tired of people fucking with me. I don't care how many times you've been fingered in your life, bro. I don't give a f. If you got a fucking problem with the fucking world and the people around you, change your fucking people around you. Change it up a little bit. Go to therapy. Get some fucking help. Don't take it out on everybody else. And then you want to train by one of the best fighters to ever fucking live, your fucking father, use his fucking clout, use his fucking knowledge, and then you want to hurt people that don't fucking train like that? You're a fucking bully. You're a you.
Rampage Jackson further opens up about the incident involving his son Raja and Syko Stu, saying he feels deep regret over what happened. He stresses that while he cannot excuse Raja's behavior, his role as a father means he must stay by his son's side. Rampage emphasizes that the situation is now in the hands of the legal system and asks people to respect his privacy regarding the details. He also expresses concern for Syko Stu and his family, wishing he had been present to prevent the situation from escalating.
Ain't much I can do on that side, but be a father, you know what I'm saying? And y'all know I can't talk about this shit. I can't talk about any details and stuff like that. I can't really go into nothing. I hope y'all can respect that, you know what I'm saying? I can't say much about that shit. You know, it's really not my place to say anything, and we gotta let this shit play its course. This shit put me in like a bad mood, you know what I'm saying? I feel bad about Syko Stu and his family. His family had to see that shit, you know what I'm saying? And you know, all the stuff that went on. I just wish I could have been there, but I couldn't. I was out of state, dropping my other kid off at college.
Rampage also clarifies that he does not excuse Raja's behavior and isn't defending his actions. He says his role is simply to remain a father while the situation unfolds. He adds that he hopes Syko Stu can eventually forgive him in his capacity as a dad, even if the full circumstances of the incident aren't fully understood by everyone.
I don't condone Raja's conduct. I don't condone none of the shit that happened. So we're gonna see what happened, and I'm gonna continue to be a father, and I hope Syko Stu can forgive me myself as a dad, because for not understanding everything, you know what I'm saying? And let's see what happens from here.
Matt Brown says Raja wouldn't get any sympathy if he wasn't Rampage Jackson's son. He explains that people only hesitate because of Rampage's name, but the video shows Raja hitting a man who was already unconscious. Brown says this is very serious and thinks Raja could face charges like attempted murder.
you know, if this was anybody other than Rampage Jackson's son, I don't think there'd be any empathy here at all. But we all love Rampage, and he's the man, you know. And the fact that he's his son, we're all sitting here like, bro, what the fuck, you know? And what do we think about this? You know, if it was just anybody else in the world, it'd be like, bro, throw that motherfucker, you know, in the cage and throw the key away, man. And that's probably what's going to happen to him. Like, you know, you say they're investigating, like, well, there's not a lot to investigate. Like, there's a video that shows it pretty goddamn clear, you know, what do we need to investigate here? So, you know, what's he going to get? You know, I don't know what like attempted murder is, but I mean, he was knocked out and punching the shit out of him. You know, I don't know how far they go in there or what the details are to get that charge.
Matt Brown criticizes Raja Jackson's actions, saying aggravated assault and battery are certain and it's clearly a felony. He calls the attack a move, saying Raja should have fought fairly instead of blindsiding someone. Brown notes the wrestler was preparing for a staged move when Raja slammed him on his head, and adds that the victim was lucky to only end up in the hospital given how dangerous it was.
Aggravated assault's for sure, battery, you know what I mean? Like, this is a felony for sure, right? I mean, there's I don't think there's any way out of that. So, you know, kind of just is what it is for him now. But like what a move, man, you know? Like, you want to fight the guy. Like, dude was like, you know, we watched the video right before the podcast here, and you know, the dude was like preparing for a pro wrestling style takedown, and motherfucker slammed him on his head. Like, you know, dude's lucky that, you know, like you said, he's hospitalized, but man, he's lucky that that's all that happened, you know?
So that's a wrap for today's video. We hope you found it informative. Share your thoughts on this incident in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more engaging content.